yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on making the most craveable chicken finger meals, getting them right every time. That's why we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, salt every fry, squeeze every lemon, and brew every ounce. We do this inside every Raising Cane's, every day. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers.
Coming at you live from the 93.7 The Ticket studio. From the heart of Lincoln, America, this is What's Next 24 with the authors of Next 24.
All right, welcome in. Happy Sunday. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos as always. This is What's Next 24. We got the host, Mike, and Sheri to my left. Apologies for everyone who's waiting eagerly right at the top of 7 o'clock hour, but we are here now, and you guys are welcome to join in all day long. 402-464-5685. And, of course, join us for the Super Bowl party at Wings and Ring, 16th and 0 later. But let's throw it to the host, Mike.
That's okay, Harrison. We still love you.
Welcome. Good morning to What's Next with Mike and Sheri today. Sheri, today you notice today's a little different show today.
Today is going to be a different show. I'm not quite sure how this is going to go, you guys, but it actually might be the Next 24 comedy hour with Mike and Sheri and Harrison.
We don't have a guest today, and that was by design. We normally have guests on the show to where people can share their stories and stuff like that. But we thought today, since we're kicking off 2026 and giving a reflection of the moment, is that we'd like to talk the story behind the book a little bit, behind the show, and just kind of tell our story a little bit. So Sheri, you ready to kick this one off?
I hope so.
Well, I will. I thought what we would do is, because people probably get to hear us, we're so lucky to have this show.
Oh.
And all the guests that we have. I wanted to make, as we were talking off air, I want to make a comment about last week's show.
Oh, how
grateful
I just got goosebumps,
and how surprised to have Grant Wistrom on the show.
Absolutely. What an honor it was. And we've had a lot of sports figures that we absolutely adore. We've had some great shows, but there's something different about Grant Wistrom. I mean, he is what you see is what you get. When he talked about his mom and dad, that just about did me in.
Well, Harrison, when he was sitting there talking, I was just amazed. Here you've got a gentleman here in studio, been to 3 Super Bowls, two or three national championships, won the state championship in high school, and yet he was the most humble guy. He pulled up in the Champ Roofing pickup truck, sweatshirt, ball cap. And you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
No, and I said this off air, and it's something that why I think again shows that. Shout out to Grant Wistrom, obviously phenomenal athlete, and he gave a lot of credit to his parents. But with Tom Osborne's guys, that is a really, really common pattern you see, and I think that just kind of the more you talk to those guys that were under that era, the more you almost kind of realize how great Tom Osborne was, because those guys could walk around with the biggest egos. And if you walk up to them, in town or in a grocery store, they'll say, "What's up?" They won't have any problems with it. They're the nicest people. And I think it just, continues to add to the legacy of Tom Osborne, but also just Winstrom's just a great guy. I mean, if you ever run into him in town, definitely, what was the name of his company? Champs Roofing. They probably be good people to work with, kind of based on the integrity he has, but also you could talk to him about anything. Just an incredibly nice guy. Doesn't hold any ego whatsoever, when he definitely could.
So respectful. But, Harrison, you just brought up a really good point. We've talked to a lot of athletes that played under Coach Tom Osborne. Mm-hmm. And Osborne had such an incredible knack, not only for picking out players that would be good for the team and be good team players, but it's almost like he had this supernatural, for lack of a better word, he had this knack for being able to almost read their personalities. You know, I mean, yeah, we know some players struggled and stuff, but but Osborne, even throughout that, he would still reach out to them after the fact.
Ricky C. Simmons, the best example of it.
Absolutely. And that's exactly who I was thinking about. You know, he never gave up on these guys, not just while they were playing for the Huskers, but he never gave up on these guys through life.
But
it's like once you were intertwined with Tom Osborne, he was with you for life.
Yeah, he took responsibility over it.
That reminds me, a couple of weeks ago, Tom Osborne was on Adam Carricker's podcast. And Tom, the question was about how things have changed in the NIL today and the era that we're in. And I can't remember the exact question, but Tom was just talking about how loyalty and commitment that back then was so important. You know, you don't know if that could, in other words, NIL today, it feels like it's given, demanding they want that check. When back then it was something that you worked for, earned for. And talking to Grant, he said he wouldn't even, he's happy that he played in the era.
Him and a lot of others
that he did. So
which is interesting.
I just found that interesting. So,
which, by the way, I just have to throw this out there. Grant, if you're listening, 1,000 thank you. You didn't just make my day, you made my life. When you brought that Super Bowl ring and let me try that baby on.
Yeah, that was fun.
I even have a picture to prove it.
Yep.
It was amazing.
Well, Sheri, let's get back to in terms of what we do. You know, we had set out. I want to talk about why this book exists and what problems it tries to resolve and why listeners should care. We just felt that when we personally wrote this book, don't you remember when we sat down in our own personal, humble lives, that, you know, we weren't star athletes or anything like that, just hardworking people over time had some regrets and some things in life that maybe wish we could have done different. I think everybody feels that way, something they could have done different. Life felt a little bit heavy. And just kind of thought, I wanted, before it's too late, just want to do something. I want to do something significant. And so we thought about putting the book together, and we thought about the things. Do you remember back when, what were some of the why you felt you wanted to be part of this book?
Yeah, I do. I really, really, truly do. You know, when this book kind of came to fruition, when it was just still in the talking stages, Mike and I hadn't even met face to face. We did a lot of talking on the phone. I was going through some very, very difficult, probably the most difficult times, one of the most difficult times in my life. And Mike said he was going through some things at that time too, and he'd gone through some things. And he said, you know, I've had this idea for this book. I've had it for a while, but I haven't done anything with it. I've written a little bit of a first chapter, and he kind of explained to me what it was about, that, you know, everybody had lost it seems like they've lost their hope and their joy and their purpose for life. And I was kind of in that rut at that time. And I said, email me what you got. I think this would be, I'd like to read it. Maybe this would help me. And he did. And I was just like, okay, we need to talk about this. This is something that not just I need to hear, but this is something that so many people need to hear right now.
Well, yeah, you know, it was personally the idea of being a father. I've gone through divorce, been laid off in jobs. I was the youngest of three in a family, just like many people who might be listening suffer things where you have a lot of loss in their life that's unexpected, that you don't know always how to handle it. Lost my mother from leukemia at age 19. That was a terrible impact on the family. Unfortunately, my older brother, who's 18 years older than me, died of alcoholism. My sister, that was 13 years older than me, also had some events in her life where alcoholism played a part. So it was just always a sense of loss and struggle, and just not life good and bad like everybody else. But what I had noticed is that the community or people, we don't talk about things anymore.
No, absolutely not. And, you know, it's people people seem to want to put on this front. And we were just kind of talking about this on the way down here. People want to put on a front. They don't want to deal with the things that are really eating them up inside.
Well, you notice along the way, people give up, lose hope,
Yes.
lose their dreams, and it's sad. It's sad. And then, of course, I won't go into too much to it, but it just seems over the years we've had economic downturns in this country. It seems like every 10 years there's something. COVID. It can really just knock the wind out of you. And of course, from a personal standpoint, I felt like I wanted to do something in my life before it's too late. That's why I wanted to talk about. People often ask why. Here we have the book, and it is available on Amazon right now. It's on sale for $18. It's normally $36. It's 286 pages, if you can see the book here. But people often wonder, why do you call it Next 24? Well, I just remembered we've just people. We all have something in common, and that's 24 hours in a day, and those times just tick away. And it's like, what do we do with that time? I cannot believe the years have gone by.
Well, and especially, so Mike, when you're really walking in some heavy stuff. I mean, I had just gotten out of a very, very bad domestic violence situation, marriage, and it didn't even seem like I could even look up, and when you presented the concept of what are you going to do, just what are you going to do today? Quit worrying about what you're going to do next month. Quit worrying about what the future holds for you and your daughter.
Well,
what are you going to do in the next 24 hours?
It seems like people, when they get up in the morning, you still have to get up and go to work. There's the demands that we must face every day. And I noticed a lot of people get up and they don't enjoy what they do. They don't like what they do. They're very unhappy. And then you just see the trend throughout the country. Harrison, I don't know, just to ask you a question. Since we wrote that book 3 years ago, we didn't talk about AI then.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, look at it now. Look how what's your thoughts on the impact that it's having? Good or bad? What's your thoughts?
It's double-edged sword a little bit there. Very helpful in certain manners, but yeah, I don't know. I my biggest fear is like, how much do we stop thinking?
Yeah.
With AI, like, do we lose that creative ability?
Creativity.
Also, how much energy are we pulling for AI? That's the part they don't tell you about. That takes a ton of power. I'm sure you guys have been on Instagram or Facebook Reels, and you see the AI. People call it AI slop now. It's already got to work for it.
Yeah.
And there's already a coalition of people that just say no AI anything. So they're terrified of the potential. So I'm not smart enough to say whether we should do it or not do it, but I think it's at least smart to have the conversation and not just green light everything AI.
The reason
you start to wonder what's real and what's not.
Yeah, it's already happened to me. Like, I'm 26. I should be with the modern day technology, and to a point I am, but I can still get duped by AI, which is when you get duped, I'm sure it's happened to you guys, that you kind of get a scary feeling.
Well,
absolutely. They could take your voice, they could take your image and slap it out there, and we wouldn't know if it was you or
I could do a whole radio show. What's Next 24 with Mike and Sheri and all AI, because you guys don't have enough audio out there.
I bring that up because it just seems like so much in over the last, since we wrote the book, just social media, people pulling back, people withdrawing sometimes on certain things. It depends. It all depends. It can be a good tool too. But getting back to the book, I just want to point out that we're not telling people what to do. It's 286 pages of a book. And we just kind of, when we talk about just people take time to assess your life, what is it you want to do today? What is it? What's the future going to look for you? And a lot of it is the mindset, but you hear that so much, and it's easy to say, but when your mind is heavy and you might be depressed, you might feel weighted down. It's hard to get back up. It's hard to go. And so we put together in the book, just when you realize, hey, there's some things I need to make change, but what do I do? So we in our own life, we went down and talked about how we changed the daily habits of our lives, whether it be journaling or reading a book or setting some basic goals, but sticking to it and then trying to create that new path. And it takes work, and it's a lot of work.
And it was things that we did and we tried to implement to help us. So basically it's a book of sharing.
Yeah, it's really we're just sharing a story, and if people want to read it and then maybe there's some tips into it of what they could do. I'm hoping that maybe it just creates a spark for someone to say, "Hey, I want to do this too. I want to make some changes." And the things that I felt like we all share is I talk about a lot in terms of we do share careers, goals, family needs, financial. There's many. There's enough faith. There's a number of different things. So we explored all those areas. And of course we get into this. We talk about the power of books. So I wanted to just show you some of the books that we've looked at, and we've talked about it, Michelle, but here's Ricky Simmons' book.
One of my faves. One of my faves, Ricky. And Ricky, we miss you. We haven't seen you in a long time, but when we first started the show, we would read things out of inspirational things out of Ricky Simmons' book, 365 Days of Redemption. We talk about it, but just the little blurb right here. This was a daily journal of inspirational quotes by former NFL player and substance abuse motivational speaker, Ricky C. Simmons. And I'm telling you what, there are so many little beads of wisdom in this book. Yeah. Get this book. I'm telling you, if you're not a devotional kind of reader in the mornings, this is a good second because it's amazing. And Ricky has been through hell and back.
Well, and Harrison, when you know Ricky's story, isn't it quite amazing?
Yeah, I mean, it really just it's not over until you decide it is. And he went through a lot, and obviously, I'll tell a little bit of it. But it's a great book. But he's in prison. Obviously, he's going through substance abuse. He kind of goes through his background, what led him there, and he sees that letter from Tom Osborne. And the guard hands it to him, and he just immediately kind of drops on his knees, and he decides to change his life right there. But it just shows you that those connections, those real connections you have. Yes. That's what you got to lean on. You can't always lean on the internet or yourself. He had Tom Osborne, luckily, and those are the people you need to lean on when you're going through hard stuff.
Absolutely.
There's a real problem, it seems like, anymore. People are just, and it's all over the world, but people are just so isolated. And it's just the observations we see. They're isolated. In the news lately, for example, look in the last 12 months and just Lincoln alone, the domestic violence that we're seeing in Lincoln. It's
almost an epidemic.
And again, that's all over, and many things in the news. So it's just, what do you do? But another book, Harrison, you might like this one. Are you a Tony Dungy fan?
Oh yeah,
I know. Coach Ron Brown would be Tony Dungy. He has the 1 year Uncommon Life Daily Challenges, and it's just full of daily different devotions and things from Tony Dungy that he's written. It's quite a large book. I want to say it's over 300
every
pages.
Day for the year.
For the
365 readings for the year.
And then we a couple of weeks ago we had Rick Skaden on. Remember the pastor out in Colorado.
Rick, I apologize because I left your book in the other car because I have been reading it in the car.
Yeah. But he's a 4-time felon. That's how he titles his book, 4-time felon. And he's now a pastor out in Colorado. And if anyone who is a motivational story, it's his.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, from almost from childhood all the way, even to this point, his story is amazing.
We need to take a break here in just a minute, but before we do, I just wanted to mention there's a lot in terms of different books that we have and so forth that we've read. But we encourage people to tune into the show, listen to the show. We hope it inspires you. With that, we'll come back in 1 minute. We're going to interview Sheri in just a minute. We'll be right back.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966. Attention, Nebraska sports fans. Are you ready to take your skills to the next level? The Army National Guard is looking for leaders who are dedicated, driven, and ready to make a difference. Join up and gain invaluable experience while serving your country with a flexible schedule, competitive benefits, and a chance to build a strong future. Learn more at nationalguard.com/Nebraska. Live here, serve here. The Nebraska Army National Guard. Guard the good life. Stop asking your friends if they're hosting a party this Sunday and come join the real party instead. Join 93.7 The Ticket for the Super Bowl at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O this Sunday and walk away with great prizes just for showing up. Why worry about making a great spread of foods for the game at your house when you can enjoy all the great wings and more at Buffalo Wings and Rings? It's the Super Bowl party with 93.7 The Ticket at Buffalo Wings and Rings this Sunday at 68th and O.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Is your furnace ready for the cold winter? Call the pros at Bryant. No matter what make or model, Bryant will perform a thorough heating check, giving you peace of mind, or steps to ensure a warm home throughout the season. Bryant also offers free second opinion heat exchange checks. Before you spend thousands on a new furnace, let Bryant check it free. Anytime you need furnace service or repair, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Lincoln's Coffee Week is now Coffee Month in February. With 25 participating venues, visit and check into at least 10 for a chance to win a $250 gift card to the venue of your choice. More details at lincoln.org/coffee-month, brought to you by Visit Lincoln.
Back to What's Next 24 from the 93.7 The Ticket studio with the authors of Next 24.
Welcome back in. What's Next 24? Mike and Sheri, the host, as always. Harrison Arons running the 1s and 2s. Shout out Chris Rapp up and early down there in Alabama tuning in. He says the three greats. You guys are welcome to join in as well. 402-464.
Chris, we love you.
Hi,
We miss
Chris
you.
Raff. Well, this is one opportunity that I don't get very often where I get to interview Sheri just a little bit.
Before you do this, I wanted to bring this in at the end of the first segment. When we were talking about our book, we got the privilege and the opportunity to actually teach our book.
We did.
After the book first came out at the Open Door Mission in Omaha. And it was at the Lydia House. And we taught some beautiful women who were going through a lot in their lives. Not only were they single mamas, but they also were at the Open Door Mission to go through the program for addiction, whether it be drug or alcohol. And the first time we were there, we had one person come in and we were a little deflated But I'll tell you what, it built and built and built. And over the matter of a few months, and we only left because we got jobs in Lincoln and we had to commute, and it was a time constraint, and it broke our hearts. But when we left, we had 16 women that, I mean, they learned to pray. They learned to have confidence in themselves. They learned that there was a life outside of all the mistakes they made. And there were a lot of tears shed when we had to end it. And if any of them are listening, we miss you guys. And there is one for sure. Her name is Genevieve. She came in right at the end, but she is so amazing. She's doing such an amazing job. And Jenna, big shout out to you. And you keep doing what you're doing, girl, because you've turned into the most amazing mom, the most amazing daughter, and you've kicked the junk that you dealt with.
Well, and it's true. That group of people, I was amazed how young so many of the people were in that group. And then when we pivot, when we were just thinking with the book, how it opened so many doors for us, as far as we just had an idea. And I do want to say before I talk to Sheri is that, you know, we appreciate 93.7 The Ticket.
Yes.
Rebecca Pearson, Derek Pearson. We met Derek and just said, hey, we've got this idea. What do you think? Could we do this? And he gave it some thought. But he loves, if you know Derek Harrison, you know him really well. He loves stories,
yes.
People's journeys, life stories. His own story is quite amazing. So, Sheri, let's pivot to you just a little bit. And if you don't mind, in your story, and I know this will be hard for you, but there's a lot of things in your life. But you wrote a story, but I'd like you to touch on Hannah, touch on your daughter, Hannah. And I know this can be a little tough.
We have, and we've mentioned before, my daughter, Hannah. Hannah, and we didn't know until she was 3. She was born with some developmental disabilities. She had a stroke when I was pregnant with her, but we didn't know until she was 3. Anyways, when she was 14, she did really good. When she was 14, everything bottomed out. She was diagnosed with a very rare genetic disease called mitochondrial disease in her brainstem. Hannah was full of love. Hannah was full of joy. Hannah was full of life. And this disease was progressive. When they gave me the diagnosis with my medical background, first thing I said was, what do we do? What medicine do we do? What are the therapies? What do we do? And they said nothing. It's progressive, no treatment, no cure. All we can do is treat symptoms. Stable became our new favorite word. Stable was pretty much all throughout the following years. Went to high school till she was 21. She was in a multi-handicap class by this time. After she got out of high school, things started progressing. I had to quit my job to be her full-time caregiver for almost 9 years. And when I say full-time caregiver, I'm not talking her babysitter. And I know there's a lot of moms and dads out there that are dealing with this now as we speak. Full-time caregiver means everything you do for yourself from when you wake up to when you go to bed, I did for Hannah. Progressed. She was in a wheelchair, started being in a wheelchair most of the time, was not nonverbal, but pretty much. Feeding tube. I mean, she could do nothing for herself. Unfortunately, and it'll be 2 years in just a couple weeks, she got sick with what I thought was a virus. 2 weeks in the hospital. The first 24 to 48 hours ended up on a vent. Found out after numerous tests and a very long week in the hospital, the disease had progressed to the part of the brain that tells you to breathe. Week later, we had to make the tough decision to take her off the vent and let her go home to be with her Jesus, or let her live the rest of her life laying in a bed in a facility somewhere. Obviously, we made the choice that was best for her, and it was tough, but there were so many things that were learned from this, so many things, and so many things that she taught us, that has to do with our book. You know, the big thing was joy. Even up to the last day, she was still verbal. She knew what was going on. Our good friend Jack Greer, who was on our show, you know, her and him were inseparable, even though they were hundreds of miles apart. Jack would, when he would come to Omaha, he would sing to her. When she was in the hospital and she was on that vent, but she was still aware, he would zoom in and sing to her. You know, it's one thing we learned from Hannah was what we talk in the book. You have to make the most of every 24 hours, and you have to find joy, even when you're in the midst of junk. Was it hard for me to find joy every day? You bet it was. Has it been hard for me the past 2 years to find joy? Yeah, some days, even when I dig deep, Mike knows it's hard. But the whole point is, and we had Tori and Daniel Anderson on the show. They experienced the loss of a child. And I don't care if you have lost every brother, sister, your mom and dad. There is nothing that can prepare you to lose a child.
No, I know it. It's exactly. And you need to have things like information in these books, or just to be pillars to lean on.
Absolutely.
You've got to continue to get up through the day. And I know it's so tough. And we do this show with Hannah in mind all the time. We do. So who the book is for? It's for anyone. Anyone wants a good read and to learn and to constantly be growing, that type of thing. I think it's great. But Sheri, we gotta pivot here. For every great show, there's a voice that you hear, but sometimes there isn't. And one of the most important parts of our show is our producer, Harrison. We wanted to take a moment to bring him into the conversation.
Yay. And I love it when we can bring him in the conversation, even if it's just for a couple seconds.
So Harrison, you've been able to sit behind the scenes, and you do a lot of shows. But if you can think back, and you've got the list of people that we've had on, what do you think makes this show a little different?
Oh, that's a great question. You get a litany of different stories. They all kind of revolve around the same subjects, but you go into the background of, what people had to go through, some of the challenges. Mike, you always like to ask them kind of early on. Even when we have great athletes, you don't say, what was your Husker football era? Like, you get to know the person themselves. And, probably my favorite thing that makes this show different is if they gave me a list, and it's kind of amazing how many guests they've had on here. You have every different kind of person on this list. There's a different origin story for every single one of these guys. Some guys are athletes. Then you have people like Pete Ferguson, who's helping the youth today. One of my favorites, ironically, Todd Euler, because he's a Northeast Nebraska guy. Shout out Battle Creek. I went to Cedar Catholic. But I think, that's what makes this show so helpful, is that you do get a different story because you bring in a wide variety of guests. And then despite having the wide variety of guests, there is still kind of that common theme of how they overcome those original challenges and problems. So I'd say, you just have a really motivational show, and it's kind of great for 7 a.m, because it's the first thing you hear is like, okay, let me get some motivation and positivity going.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And what I realized that 93.7, it's heavy into the sports. And I used to, as a young man, of course, you idolize these sports figures, and I do, and I still do.
That'd be me.
It's so much fun, but to get to know them as human beings, as people.
Yes.
When I think about the three, Jay Foreman, Adam Carricker, and Grant Wistrom. And
Adam.
Terrell Farley, and many more. There's many that we've met. But the thing that getting to know them as people, they've been great people. Behind the scenes, they've talked about their injuries.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that I think Adam, I want to say, I thought he told me 10 surgeries.
Yeah.
Bad, severe leg injuries, and to get through. Grant, I didn't know he broke his leg at one time playing. And we all know Terrell Farley's story, and he's great. But to get to know them as people and the bond that they have. Harrison, if you can you think of maybe one show that maybe had an impact on you? Is there one?
Yeah, there's been a few. If I had to pick a few, I know that Mike Roth, I really enjoyed his story a lot. And I know Trinity Fitness, I'm blanking on the name.
Oh, Trinity Fitness?
That one was...
JC Massey.
Yeah, because he, another guy that went through his own addictions and his own problems. But, he found a really unique way to find his community. And I think that's like a lot of the great stories that we hear is people are going through really hard times. And what gets them out of it is they find a community. Ricky C. Simmons finds Tom Osborne. Massey finds Trinity Fitness. Terrell Farley finds some people to lean on. Like all these people. And it goes back to your point of you just kind of have to find those pillars to help you get through it.
From a producer's perspective, why do you think real life stories resonate so strongly?
Well, because you need examples. I mean, we all go through some hard stuff, and it's great to read a fictional tale or watch a movie of someone doing the impossible or a great like boxing movie where but those are movies. When you have a real person tell you, and oftentimes the real stories are even darker than what the fiction in the movies are. And it can give you a lot of hope. Is like, man, I thought I had it bad. This guy managed to pull it off. I don't really have a whole lot of excuses left.
Well, and the people that we've had on the show, I mean, yes, we wrote the book. We have things that we do to get us through our hard times. But there are so many little pieces of wisdom that I have gleaned from a lot of these people where it's like, oh, okay. And even like with us, it's like, well, if they can do it and here's what they use, maybe I'm going to try take some of what they did, and then also too, I think that when, especially like our sports heroes, and how I am about my sports heroes, my Husker heroes, when you get to know them on a personal basis, I think sometimes we put them up on the pedestal.
Yeah.
We don't realize that they go through junk like we do. I mean, like you talked about Adam with all the surgeries and stuff. And, and you get to know them on more of a personal basis, even outside the studio. There's a couple of these people that I consider friends that I would trust. Adam and Angie Carricker are two that I would definitely trust. They
Coach
are the
Ron
most
Brown.
caring, giving, loving,
like Coach.
and they're fun and they're funny. And, I mean, Jay Foreman, bless his heart. And Jay, I don't mean to embarrass you, but when I first met him, I was terrified. I was terrified. But let me tell you what, Jay Foreman gives the best hugs you've ever had. He's just like a big old bear.
Harrison, is there any show or anyone that made an impact on you though?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Christian, so like Coach Ron Brown, anytime he's in studio, it's like I need to step it up a notch a little bit here and take this more seriously. He's a really
amazing
smart guy, and it's incredible the network he's created, and that's the name a lot of athletes will say, Coach Ron Brown.
Yeah.
He has that connection, and then when you listen to him talk, you understand why.
And I was just thinking yesterday, okay, it's about time to have Coach back on. But I think we've also had some fun too. And I think for me, one of the funniest people we've had on our show was Dave Weber.
Oh, Dave Weber. Yeah, he's a character.
I love Dave with my whole heart.
Harrison, is there and we got to take a break in a minute, but is there any one show that maybe that surprised you the most? How about that?
I mean, the one that probably surprised me the most, I'll be honest, it wasn't too long ago. It was, we just had him on. He was the four-time felon or?
Yeah, Rick Skaden.
Rick Skaden.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of hear that and you're like, what's this guy going to be like? Nicest guy you'll ever hear. And then you kind of hear the life he put together. And again, another guy that grew up with a lot of excuses to live a life of, low expectations and low goals, and he didn't accept that whatsoever.
Yeah, to turn it around to what he's building.
Yeah, and he's streaming in a beautiful house. He says he's got, got a family. He's just pumped up about it. And I'm like, that's the stuff that makes you want to keep.
Have you gotten his book yet?
No, I need to
get it. And before, I tell you what, you won't regret it.
And before we take a break, we just want people to think that, what type of legacy do you want to leave? And people wonder, what does that mean? Well, how do you want to be remembered? Your life matters. With that, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first. Now is the time to get a glimpse into living and learning at Doane University through a personalized in-person or virtual visit. We know once you experience Doane, you'll see why it's a place where you can achieve your goals and shape your future. Schedule your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit.
If you don't have Valentine's Day plans this year, strike up some romance at Matson's Bowling and Billiards. Head to Madsen's on Saturday, February 14th for the second ever Love on the Lanes, a live stage front dating show like Lincoln's never seen. The show starts at 8 p.m. live on the bowling lanes with audience participation, hilarious Q&As, and unexpected twists. Reserve VIP your standard seating by emailing Sarah at madsonslincoln.com or check out their Facebook page. Come for the love, stay for the laughs, and leave with memories or a match on Valentine's Day at Madson's.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with a bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G138852 and G165184. 2,500 down with proof credit.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of February. Get an early start on it. Sit down. The snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. Let's put numbers together and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Most resolutions for the new year fail before January is even over. Why not resolve to just be a little bit cleaner in 2026? Nebraska Auto Detail is here for you. Now through March 30th, if you purchase a ceramic coating, you'll get a free interior detail. There's no better way to start your year than taking care of your car and decluttering the mess that it becomes so easily. Book your detail today at nebraskaautodetail.com or call Joe and the team at 402-601-5086.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Is your furnace ready for the cold winter? Call the pros at Bryant. No matter what make or model, Bryant will perform a thorough heating check, giving you peace of mind, or steps to ensure a warm home throughout the season. Bryant also offers free second opinion heat exchange checks. Before you spend thousands on a new furnace, let Bryant check it free. Anytime you need furnace service or repair, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Back to What's Next 24 from the 93.7 The Ticket Studio with the authors of Next 24.
Welcome back in. Final segment. Be a really quick one here. So get out of the way. Throw it to the host, Mike and Sheri.
Well, very good. As we're closing out here the hour, I just want to say again how much we appreciate 93.7 The Ticket. Want to tell you where we're going in the future. It's always important to look like ahead. And so we've talked with Rebecca and Derek, and if people are interested, number one, in wanting to be a guest on our show, contact us, and you can give us a go to the website at next24book.com. You can email us there. You can look at our website and contact us if you have a story that you'd like to provide. We'll be happy to talk to you.
Why don't we throw out our emails or our phone numbers?
Well, go ahead.
Okay. Well, you can reach me at Sheri, SHERI, NXT 24@gmail.com. My phone number is 402-677-2847. No prank calls. Mike's phone number is 531-289-8629. He doesn't have mine memorized, by the way.
No,
Mike,
I don't.
give him your email.
So my email is msnw at
NXT24@gmail.com.
That's right. Also wanted to mention what would be, if you're interested in wanting to do a podcast, but would like to need some help. You don't want to buy the equipment. You don't want to sit down and write all scripts, but you have a business or a story or something you want to share. Podcasts are growing. You can contact us. We can show you some ways here with the help of the station. If you're interested in starting your own podcast, we can talk to Rebecca Pearson about that as well and more. So you can look at that. We'll have a new website out soon. So moving forward. We're growing.
Also, any businesses out there that would love to do advertising here on Next 24, on 93.7 The Ticket.
Yeah,
you can call and you can do advertising. We would love to have some specific sponsors for our show.
That would be a lot of fun. One to close out is we've got just, I think, a minute or two, Harrison, if that is our book also has a workbook. You don't realize in terms of on page 189, there is a workbook section that you can journal, write some things out, and just help you. I think nothing's better than putting a pen to paper.
Even make a bucket list, which is fun
to write down. But what's interesting, I want to close the show out with, when I turned the page, on page 188 is the Serenity Prayer. So if you don't mind, I'm going to just go ahead and read this. So if you're listening today and you're thinking life is heavy, life is hard, and you know what to do, the Serenity Prayer is, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardships as the pathway to peace, taking as he did the sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that he will make all things right if I surrender to his will, so that I may be reasonably happy in life and supremely happy with him forever and ever in the next. Amen.
Thank you, Mike. And I'm really glad you read that, because I think a lot of people think the Serenity Prayer is just for AA or drug addiction. But one thing I just noticed when you read that, there's a part of the Serenity Prayer that most people don't say that. They don't utilize that.
Harrison, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Go for it.
Again.
Close this out. What would you like to say to the community?
I'll just kind of follow up on everything you just said there, just with the Serenity Prayer. Just handle what you can control. Don't get caught up in what you can't control. That's where the chaos starts to come into play. So lean on the people that you actually know, people within your circle. Don't worry about what's going on across the seas. Worry about the people right in your own community, because Lincoln's a great community to be in. So
amen.
Go exist in this one.
Before we go, what's going on today? Super Bowl party,
Wings and Rings at a 16th and O location. We're going to be there for the entire Super Bowl. There is some ticket squares, some prizes available as well. So if you guys don't got Super Bowl plans, definitely go check us out. It'll be a good time. 16th and O location.
All right. With that said, We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thanks, Harrison.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent